Hey, hello and welcome. You're listening to another Evolvepreneur Secrets Show for entrepreneurs, and I'm your host, Brian Silverthorne. And it's my mission to help entrepreneurs make a difference and to navigate the often challenging worlds of startup, growth, or relaunch. And I want you to join me today. We're going to dig deep with our guest and get you the best concepts and strategies for self publishing authors and their journeys from startup to success. And our special guest today is Lillian Brummet. And Lillian and her husband David are the team behind Brummet Media Group, which includes a music studio, a drum music studio, graphic design, award-winning nonfiction books, blogs, YouTube channel. We got all kinds of stuff going on. Welcome to the show, Lillian.
Thank you, Brian. Thank you for taking the time for this interview. And everybody that's listening today, thank you for joining us. I'm really looking forward to sharing some tips and some great information today.
Good. We're looking forward to learning from you. So,
Great.
where are you hanging out today?
Well, I'm here in my office, which, as you can see, is part of my home. It's actually traditionally where the dining room would be in a home. It's filled with a couple of desks and lots of equipment instead.
Well, you can always eat in the kitchen, right?
Well, that's right.
Yeah,
Fold up tables. What do you need?
absolutely. So let's start. You've got some books published.
Mhm.
What are your let's pick one. What's your favorite book or most recent book about, and what
Okay.
readers are you trying to reach?
Okay, well, our most recent book is our cookbook. It's called From One Small Garden Over 300 Delicious, Nutritious Recipes. So, like the title says, it is enticing people to garden, to utilize their garden harvest. There's a lot of new gardeners out there that are getting these, bulk harvests coming out of their garden. They're going, gosh, what do I do with this? Or people are really picking up on the local food movement, which means going to the local food market and getting all those great deals in season. And at the end of the season, you get great deals on larger amounts of locally made, nutrient packed foods because the longer an item is in storage after harvesting, the more nutrients it loses. So the closer to home and the more quicker to harvest time that you start eating it or processing it, the healthier you are, the more bang for your buck when it comes to your budget. And so we really encourage that in the book. We show people how to use all that up. And we address a lot of concerns today beyond that, including food waste issues. We show you how valuable it is to save those small amounts of leftovers, and we show you how to utilize them and extend your budget and increase a wide array of items in your menu plan from around the globe. It's an international recipe book. The very final chapter, which I'm really excited about, also helps people reduce waste in regards to you're no longer buying envelopes of taco seasoning or fajita seasoning, or you're not buying tomato paste anymore because you're learning how to use things in your own home and from the harvest from your garden, or from purchasing from a local farmers market or something like that. So that's what that book is about. It has incredibly delicious recipes scattered throughout it. I'm really excited about it. It's had some great responses, especially locally. We've had some great responses from like the farmers market and the local grow local and the food forward movement. There's a lot of variety of different programs locally for encouraging the local food movement, and they've been very supportive of the book. So that's our most exciting release. But we do have 6 books available on the market, including what I think your audience would be the most interested in is the Purple Snowflake Marketing book. It shows people how to run their business from the very beginning. How to set up their business, how to do a business plan, how to do your action plan, your succession plan, your contingency plans, all of these types of plans, your action plan. We talk about the value of those, and we walk them through the process of marketing their business and their product. In this case, specifically a book, but you can just insert the word whatever product you're trying or service you're selling, and you could really use this book as a template for your business as well.
Wow, good.
Yep.
Both those books sound extremely interesting. So,
Fantastic.
have any of your books reached bestseller status?
Bestseller status. No, we haven't reached bestseller status, but these books have been. Some of them have been in the market for a very long time. For instance, our Trash Talk book series, which is one of our most award-winning. We've won the most awards for that. It's about green living and reducing waste and energy saving and stuff like that. And that book series has been in the market since 2004. And it's had a couple of revisions. It's now available in a 2-book series. It actually started from a column that I had published internationally. It was syndicated. It ran for 6 years, and it evolved into that book series. And it's won a lot of awards. Like the Recycling Council of BC gave us an award for our work in making the world a better place regarding waste management. So it's been a really exciting ride with each one of these books. We've had great accolades, great responses from the various industries that we write in, and as far as bestseller status, no, we haven't reached that, but we've had great sales every year consistently since we started in this career.
Oh, great! I mean, that's a very interesting and I'm going to say timely subject, but it's a subject that's been beneficial over time. It's just becoming more a greater awareness of it, I guess. Would achieving bestseller status for these books help you out in spreading the word to a wider group?
Well, it's like any of these awards that you get, it's like a little stamp, a little gold star, you did well in school. That's basically what it's saying. It gives you a little bit of a boost in that regard. They're nice things to have, and one should always strive for getting these little gold stars in your career. But honestly, it's the long-term consistency that you're looking for. Those high peaks, those little stamps that say, hey, you're doing a good job, those are always nice, but it's the long-term consistency that you're aiming for when you're running your business.
Okay. So for budding authors out there, what's your suggestion for effective means of promoting your books?
Oh boy, well, that starts with the evaluation of who you are and where you are right now, you personally. So you got to be very, very honest about what your skills are, what you're willing to learn. What kind of assets do you have right now that you can utilize? Go through your contact list, your business cards, your address books, your emails. What kind of stream of contacts do you already have, and how can you develop those? For instance, your sister might be involved in a local elementary school, and maybe she volunteers there, and you happen to be writing in that genre for that age group. Well, there's your in. She has contacts. Maybe she can point you in the direction of teachers or principals or contacts within the school industry through her. Maybe she would be willing to hand out your bookmarks when she's going to her various volunteer activities. Whatever it is that you can utilize, you want to make sure that you utilize that from your unique situation. So start where you are, start how you mean to continue, and work forward from there, out circle from there.
Okay, great. That's excellent advice. So what's next for you as an author?
Well, right now we're working on a trilogy. This trilogy is celebrating Dave's late father's lifetime of work. So the content is actually not ours. The cover design and all the work involved behind the books is. So we had to catalog all of this information of his lifetime of loose leaf boxes and various files and various versions of them, and getting it all together to celebrate his lifetime of work. So there's poetry, there's fascinating stories about his life and growing up, and through the Depression, and all of these really interesting memories and stories that he shares. Just fascinating, and we wanted to make sure that those got out there. Really funny short stories, and he has some fiction in there as well, and a lot of great poetry. He won some awards for his poetry as well, and he had been published in a few magazines through our encouragement, as when he came later in life, but he never got it actually published in a book format. And so he gave us the rights for that. He said if we found a time in our schedule, he would like us to do that. So we're working on that right now. We're just around the corner from doing the book cover design and final touches. So that's the long-winded part, when everything is done and you're doing the the so-called last touches of your book. Oh my gosh, this seems like a marathon of like length. It never ends. There's always something else that needs to be done, another delay, but it's getting there. we're getting there. It's going to be published soon. So we're really excited about celebrating his life in that way. It's a great way to use the skills that we have to honor those that have come before. And so we really like to do that.
Well, that's great. That sounds like a heavy undertaking, but also kind of a labor of love too, I would imagine.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. Putting it together was quite emotional. We waited about 5 years after his passing to be emotionally strong enough to be able to work it. Going through all the different files, boxes, the loose scrap binders, everything everywhere in his estate belongings, gathering all that together and then slowly going through it. That was a huge job. Transcribing it, most of it wasn't on computer, so it's all, type it all in. So it was a lot of aching hands and eyes, but and a few tears, but it was really healing. And I have to say, what a powerful connection I felt I had with him after his passing as well. Like, we were fairly close during his life, but afterwards I felt so much more closer to him. I understood him better. Things maybe he didn't communicate, but he wrote about, I was able to absorb that afterwards, and it was a really powerful experience to go through.
Yeah, well, it would have to be with all the digging through old papers and all that stuff. I can imagine so.
Yes.
So we're getting to the end of the time here. So do you have any final thoughts for our listeners?
Absolutely. I know that your audience is mainly entrepreneurs, so I would really like to encourage you to be patient with the process, to slow down, take a look at your plan. It is so important to plan. A lot of people don't like to take the time to organize themselves and have a list of dues, but really it makes all the difference. It gives you a map to follow. You can see how you're doing. You can evaluate it at the end of the month, what you might need to tweak or change, or what direction you might be going from there. It is just so helpful to have an action plan, a monthly and an annual action plan as well. I really encourage you to slow down, take the time, and do that.
Well, that's excellent advice, Lillian, and we're going to use that as a wrap for another great guest episode of the Evolvepreneur Secrets Show for entrepreneurs. And just before you leave, if you liked it, please give us a 5-star review and share it with a couple of friends. And if you want to catch up on some past episodes and make sure you don't miss any future ones, go to evolvepreneursecrets.show. And if you're an entrepreneur, you got a great idea running around in your head, let's get it out there today.